Hello gamers, Mage Hammer here for another edition of tonight on Mage Hammer's Game Table, where tonight I'm continuing my series of solo dungeon delves, which feature a different system each episode. This time up is TLDRPG. TLDRPG. Those of us in the old, there's a QR code if you're interested. Those of us that are in, know the internet logo, too long didn't read. I think it's a play that he wanted to create a short role-playing game. I kickstarted this. It came in not too long ago. The designer is Billy Blue, who is an artist primarily, and Billy, I believe, is an artist for Morgborg and other kinds of like real dark and heavy metal, I guess, kind of art. And so, of course, he's the artist, so he didn't need to hire an artist for this. So I'm sure that helped on cost, but I'll give you a little idea of what the art looks like here. So just so you get an idea. It's stunning. It's awesome. I mean, the price of this book alone is worth the art alone. It's just great. So this is a very rules-like game. As you can see, basically, that's character creations, the abilities that you can use. Playing the game is very short, a couple pages. Then you have the, there's weapons, example of play, which, I love examples of play. Those are one of the things that inspired me to be a solo RPGer to begin with. Creating those is how I pretty much started my solo RPGing career, hobby. 30 years ago. Anyway, so it has a small bestiary. I'm going to do my best to get monsters out of this bestiary. He has a couple of random tables, but not necessarily for monsters. But he has a random monster maker table. I think that's kind of neat. I haven't used that yet, but there you go. So some sample characters, character sheet. This QR code here will take you to his website where you can see his art. You can go to a link to order this from TLDRPG. He has some pay what you want character sheets up on there. And so it uses D6s, and it's kind of different than most games I play because the characters roll all the dice. So attacks, and kind of like 4 Against Darkness actually, but this is much more of a role-playing game than 4 Against Darkness. So I have created 3 characters. I did go in and I created each one of them myself. I'm pretty sure I got the character creation down, and I'm pretty sure I know how to play this game based on a reading and a real quick combat I did off screen. But if I don't get it right, and Billy Blue, you end up seeing this video, please correct me, let me know. But you did say, most important rule, just have fun. If something works at your table is 100% by the book, that's fine. Make the game your own. I promise not to get offended. So you promise not to be offended. So if I mess something up, it's not personal. I just, I make mistakes. So going forward, here we go. I'll introduce you to the characters. I've got Borgor. As far as I can tell, there are no races in this book, no heritages. You can make your heritages anything you want. It's very rules light in that way. I did give him a great sword, gave him some armor. He has a good body score, I guess. There's 3 major attributes in this game. This is Gardriel Thundress. And I would say she's kind of good at sneaking, but she does have some magic, I suppose. The spellcasting system is interesting. It's more of an ability system. Yeah, we'll find out. Bindlebor Thremp is my magic user. Or, I don't know, somebody who casts spells. So, there you go. Okay, so these are my adventurers. We're going to send them on a quest, and we're going to see how this system works. So I have their hit points here. I'm tracking their mana here. Everybody has a little bit of mana, and it can be used for a variety of things. Obviously, Bindlebor Thremp has a lot more because his mind score is pretty high, so he's at 6, and plus I leveled his mind up to 3, so that means that he's got quite a few mana points. Mana, there's 3 derived attributes: mana, hit points and luck. And also gear is also based on body, so that's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, so I don't want to, you know, as you know, I'm not a how to play channel. I'm a play channel, so you're gonna watch me play. At least my interpretation of how this game works. I'm hoping I get it right. It's not real complicated, but that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I'm missing a few things because it seems extra easy. But pretty much you're going to roll dice, and if you get a 6, you get a success, and things happen. Very interesting. He's got critical and failure dice. Once you get up to 2 dice, 2 or more dice, 2 of your dice become critical failure dice, or what's he call them? He calls them critical dice. Anyway, so there's a few combinations. If they come up both 6s, something cool happens. The game master decides that, I suppose. Where is it? Where's the critical dice? I think that's in combat. Yeah, so critical failure successes. So Snake Eyes, you roll double 1s. That's an epic fail. And even if some of the other dice that you roll in your pool, if there's more than 1 die in here, and this one gets a 6, but these both roll 1s, just so you know what I'm doing when this happens. I know I don't usually explain rules, but I feel this one needs to be explained. I get a penalty, but I also earn 1 experience point and 1 luck. So experience points are what you use to improve your attributes, and you can actually like improve overnight. Like if you get enough, you can spend it. If you take a rest, then you can just spend them. So it has a very interesting leveling system as well. Well, they're not really level. I mean, they're levels. It's complicated. So critical success. it's a rules light game, and I just called it complicated. That's on me. Anyway, so if the penalty is defined, and such as a character takes a point of damage and they draw 1 attention, drop their weapons, could get affected by something with poison. Like the game master will decide. So now if you roll boxcars here, double 6s, test succeeds and you get a bonus. Bonus defined by the GM could be something simple like they deal an extra point of damage, or opponent loses an action, or opponent is affected with status such as bleed. I'll play that on a case-by-case basis. I'll go with what I'm feeling at the time during the combat if that happens. All right, so if one of them rolls a 1 and one of them rolls a 6, is a difficult success. Test is successful, the character incurs a penalty defined by the GM, as with a critical failure. Additionally, the player chooses to either get a bonus or earn experience points and a luck. So that's kind of neat. I like that. So I think that's a pretty good innovation for this game. Okay, so we're going to get started. I may have to check some rules. I apologize, but I think I got it. I think I'm doing pretty well with it. So our adventurers, let's see what they are hired to do. Go to my handy-dandy Axebane Deck of Many Dungeons random quest generator. Here we go. Oop, need a D12. Sorry about my bald head popping in there on the camera. All right, there we go. So 10, slay boss monster. We've done that recently. Let's do another one. 8, destroy an item. That's kind of new. That's kind of fun. All right, let's see if there's any kind of obstacle that I'm excited about. 10, maze-like passages. No, because I'm going random. I don't want to do that. I'll roll 1 more. If I don't like it, then there'll be no extra obstacle. Same thing. Really wants to have maze-like passages. So we're not doing that. Okay, so no extra obstacle to the goal. However, let's find out what item it is. I got 2 cards from Axebane's Deck of Many Dungeons that can generate items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one. So we'll go here and we roll a d6 and we have to find and destroy armor. Tiny armor crafted by elves and is worth 150 gold pieces. All right, so they have to find this tiny armor. I guess it would be tiny armor would be enough to fit maybe a sprite or something. Or maybe the tiny armor was armor made by an evil child that when people came into possession of it, it basically possessed them and they did horrible things. And that child has long grown up and gone away. However, his item, his armor still exists. And a sage has just discovered the location of it and has hired the PCs to find it with a full description and to go in to the delve where it is hidden, find it, and destroy it. He wants proof of destruction, but he knows that if they stay with the armor for too long, pardon me, that it could do something to them. So if they have an opportunity to destroy it there, they can destroy it, but they have to some way prove that they did it. Maybe by bringing just a small shard of it back. They'll have to figure that out. But or he says they can take the risk and bring it back to him and destroy it in front of him, and or smash it or break it into pieces. Whatever, they're gonna have to figure it out. So that's the adventure, and that's what we're doing. So they find their way to the delve, and they go down the stairs, and they enter into this delve. Here we are. Okay, so they go down the stairs. They look left. Ooh, so a hallway. I'll see what's in that long hallway if they get to it. And we'll call that a dead end, and this will be a hallway here. And a locked door. Okay, so Gardriel says, let's stay a moment and listen. So they listen. Guess I could have them like make mind checks. And they basically, Gardriel, or I guess it could be a spirit check. We'll call it a spirit check. Oh, so Bindlebor, Thrimp. Well, Gardriel has a 3 spirit. But anyway, well, so somebody here, let's see if they hear anything. 1d6, they hear something on a 1. They don't hear anything. Okay, so they listen and they don't hear anything. So they decide whether to go for the door or down the hall. Doors are much more interesting, so they decide to go to there. Gardriel walks up. She discovers that the door is locked, and so she is going to attempt to pick it with her lock picks. Now she has Trap Master and Sharp Senses. I'm going to say Trap Master. Wait, I can't remember if there was a lock pick ability or not under Spirit. Trap Master, +2 to detect or disarm traps. Yeah, it looks like picking locks might be separate. I don't see it under Spirit. I doubt it's on, it might be under Body. No. Yeah, okay, so I guess I'm going to decide that the Trap Master, because I didn't think, yeah, I told you I was going to be looking at this rule book. I do apologize. I know sometimes it breaks up the narrative. However, it's just something I have to do, I suppose. All right, so miscellaneous abilities. No ultimate abilities yet. We're not eligible. So I'm going to have Trap Master provide her with a +1 instead of a +2. All right, so she's going to try to detect traps. So she has a spirit of 3, and she's going to get a +1 for her ability of Trap Master, and she's going to see if there's a trap on it. So she detects if there would be a trap, there would be a trap. There's no trap indicated, and Axbane's deck of many dungeons is good, but you know what about indicating traps? But I'm actually going to see if there's a trap. On a 1 to 6, there is a trap. A 1 on 6, there is a trap. So she finds it. Now she's going to try to disarm it. So she gets 2 dice to that. So yeah, so she's 3 spirit, 2 dice for her ability. She needs a 6 on any of these dice, and she gets 1. So, excellent. So she disarms the nasty needle trap, and then she needs to pick the lock. So picking the lock, once again, I'm going to give her a +1 die instead of +2 die for Trap Master. So she goes to pick the lock, and she gets it. All right, she gets a 6. So she picks the lock, and they open it up, and there's a magic crystal. And I'm going to roll the ability of the magic crystal. Okay. And so they enter in, and they look around. They look for the armor. They see suits of armor standing guard, quote unquote, over the magic crystal. Bindlebor Thremp. Oh my, let me see this. Should I? Oh, I'm fascinated by this. So fascinated. Now, I thought I gave him, I think there's like a detect magic ability. That's probably under mine, but I don't think I took it. It might be one of the regular abilities. Body ability? I doubt it. Spirit ability. All right. I don't see it. Sharp. He does have sharp senses. All right, so I'm going to have him take a look at it. He's going to make a, we'll call it an investigation roll. That he has skills for that, so he gets to add a +1 to that. He's going to use his, I'm going to allow him to use his mind on this. So that's 3 dice, 1 for his investigation skill and 1 for sharp senses. Did I give him sharp senses? I gave her sharp senses. Never mind. So he doesn't get that extra die. And he is unable to detect anything out of the ordinary about this crystal. Well, we may have to come back to this. Yes. Well, let us continue looking for the mini armor. It's called tiny armor. Yeah, yes. Whatever. So they go to this hallway here. They look right north. Boom. So this is the last. This would be the last one here. It does indicate monsters. So we're going to put a king out into a special room, and there will be a monster inside of it. They come to the door. She checks the door for traps. And she doesn't find any. Let's see if there is one. Oh my, there is. Okay, so she's going to trigger that trap when she goes to open the door, and it's not locked. I believe there used to be a trap on one of these cards. Random trap generator, there you go. Thank you, X-Bane's deck of many dungeons. It is going to be a boulder. All right, so what I'll do is it'll be a pressure plate. It's going to drop on her, and it's actually going to do 3 points of damage. I might even give her a test to avoid it. It's more of a rock falling on her head than it is an actual boulder. So she steps on the trap and activates it. I'm going to give her a spirit roll. So that's 3 dice. There's dice bump. She can use mana or luck, I believe, to boost an extra die. But she has to say it before she rolls the dice. She has to spend it. Spend a mana or a luck die. Get a +1d on a test. Yeah, so she is going to spend... She's got 3. I'm going to give her 1 for sharp senses. She might hear the click or something. She's got dodge. And I'm going to have her spend 1 luck. And that'll give her... luck will be the red. So she'll be down to 5 luck to get another die. She needs to get a 6 on one of these to avoid the trap. Okay, so she got a 6. She got 2 6s here, but it's only, oh, but I got that critical, like, failure thing. All right, so she's going to decide that she is going to be able to jump out of the way, and it's going to clip her, I guess, for 1 hit point. Test is successful. The character also incurs a penalty to find a GM of the critical. Additionally, the player chooses either to get a bonus or earn experience. Like, all right, so she's going to get... She's going to take 1 point of damage instead of the nasty 3. Okay, that's going to be her failure part. So she takes only 1 point of damage. So she's down to 3. And then she is going to, because she also failed, she is going to get another luck point, which will put her luck back to 6. So I guess I'll write their lucks there. Hers is 6. His is 2. And his is 2. All right. So they open the door, and let's see what kind of monster there is. So I'll roll the monster on my table, 56. That creature is not in here. However, that one below it is. So I'm pretty sure it has that in the bestiary. So I'll go look it up. Yes, it is. Cool. And all right. I'm going to say there are 3 of these things. They open the door and they're, the scent of rotting flesh greets their nostrils. And, milling about the stairs that lead down to the next level of the delve are 3 rotting corpses shambling about the room. So here's one rotting corpse. Here is... oh, come on. Where's the zombie when you want one? Am I right, folks? I guess I could just use these ghoul figures. It's no big deal. All right. So, yeah, we got 3 zombies. They look zombie-ish enough, right? I mean, they're zombie-ish enough. So 3 of those in there. They're in the room. There's some stairs. I'm not going to set up this room. I want to see how the battle goes. I'm just going to get started. So they're up here on the door. The zombies are down in like, not a pitfall, but like a lower area. And let me double check something. I'm looking to see they have a couple of attacks listed, and do I do all the attacks? Do I choose one of the attacks? I think because they're only a rank 1 monster, I'll say one of their attacks only, and I guess I'll randomly determine which attack they're going to use. Okay, so that being said, they have the advantage currently. Initiative in this game is they make a spirit check, and combats. Okay, so initiative. And like in Tiny D6, Tiny Dungeon, they get 2 actions. And it almost, the list of actions they actually get is almost exactly the same as Tiny D6. So that's kind of cool. All right, so they're currently at medium space. Initiative. Before combat begins, call for initiative check. Each player must make an initiative roll. D6 plus spirit. Anyone who ties on initiative roll should roll a single D6 as a tiebreaker without adding spirits, who has a higher initiative. All right. Since they're zombies, I'm going to say they have the initiative anyway, the players. So, Bindleborn Thremp, he can't resist using his zap ability because it hits multiple dudes. So he's going to go first. And he has to spend a mana, and then he needs to make an attack. And so he gets to roll. He gets 3 dice for his mind attribute. He gets I guess that's it. So he's not necessarily like, he really wants the spell to go off, so he is going to, he only has 2 luck. Ugh. So he's going to spend 1 luck to put an additional die out here. And he's going to go with 4 dice and hope for the best. He fires zap at that zombie there, and he gets it. So it hits that zombie for 3 and zaps each one of those for 1. They only have 1 hit point. They all drop. Mana well spent, I say. So they make their way down into the room. They kind of search around a little bit, be cautious, look in those bones in the corner, and decide to continue heading down the stairs. All right, so they are on now another level. Let's see what awaits them. Okay, boom. So they go down the stairs, and they look left, and they have a hallway with, turns to the south. And then, oh my, yep. Then they have a door and a hallway that turns to the south. So they'll have lots of searching to do if they do that. All right, so they're trying to decide which direction to go. And so they're going to randomly determine which way to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They decided after much discussion to go to the right. All right, so they go to that door, they listen. She checks it for traps. She opens it. There's nothing in there. Well, there's some storage stuff, firewood and barrels and stuff. So she goes to that door. She listens. Doesn't hear anything. Checks it for traps. Opens it. And inside is a bedroom. She goes, searches the room thoroughly. She invites the other 2 adventurers in to search the room thoroughly so that they make sure they don't miss the tiny armor. They find some gold. So let's see how much gold they find. 10, 13, 17 gold pieces. So they take that as part of their payment for this mission. Then they go back out to that door and they decide to go south and they go to this door here. She is going to listen at the door. She is sneaking and hiding, so she thinks that should add to her listening. Plus she has sharp senses. So her GM agrees and she rolls. And she gets a success. So she hears possibly whatever's on the other side of that room. Ooh. You know, we fought those a lot. Let's do something else. Yeah, okay, that tracks with what we've been running into, so let's do it. All right. So she hears hoarse whispers and squishy sounds, and relates that to the to her companions. See if we have this creature in the back of the book. If we don't, I am going to have to. Yeah, I can improvise. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make I choose the rank of them. Yeah. No, we'll just do rank 1, but they have an ability, and they'll have to save versus that ability, or they'll get a, they call them, what's he call them in here? Status. They'll get a status if they don't. Yeah, we'll call it that. Okay, that'll be fun. All right, so we're going to give them that many hit points instead. Yeah, they're a little tougher than those zombies. Okay, cool. So I will give them those hit points. And I think, yeah, we'll start out with, yeah, okay. So they open the door, and the creatures are right there. So I think I will quickly construct the room. 10, 20, 30, 40. They're entering here. And it is 20 across. We can make it a little bigger. Happy little dungeon rooms. All right, and then there we go. And then there's a door here. Okay, so they enter the room, and the creatures, there's blood spattered everywhere, and these creatures are pretty close to the door, so there may not be, yeah. So Gorbor enters. Oh my goodness, they're everywhere. Guardrail's next, and then Bindlebor stands in the doorway. Okay, so it's initiative. These things we actually have to roll initiative against. So if we roll initiative, roll d6 plus their spirit. I'll roll one for the monsters. Okay, so So Gorbor gets a 2, not great. And then Bindlebor gets a 7, so that's pretty good. Gardriel gets a 6. And the critters got a 5. All right, so those two will go first, then the ghouls, and then them. All right, so here we go. So first up is Gardriel. And she is going to move and attack. That's her 2 actions. She's going to attack with her sword. And she has backstab. I think that has to be completely unaware in this game. Attacking a target from behind, yeah. So it's not from behind. So she is going to get... it's a body roll. So that's 1 die. And I'm actually not giving her any other dice. So she has to roll 1 die. So she's going to roll 1 die to hit. And she misses. Then, next up is, I guess it's Gorbor, and Bindlebor's last. No, he got the 5. He got the 6. He has a no. I'm going to have to track my initiative a little better. Sorry, folks. So I'm just going to go with, I'll go with Gorbor first, and then the ghouls, then Bindlebor. Bindlebor. I think that's how it was set up. I'll have to check. Yeah, okay, it's fine. All right, so Gorbor is going to slam one of these ghouls off to his right. So he gets 3 dice for body. He does +1 melee damage, by the way, so that'll be fun. If he hits. Rage, you don't need that. Last stand, we don't need that. Gets 3 dice as of right now. And he's not going to bump it. So he's going to attack. Got a 6. So he hit that guy for 3. That's how many hit points they have. He squished the ghoul. And then his second attack, he has a heavy weapon, so he can't attack twice. But he is going to focus so that when he rolls the next die, he gets an additional, or when he rolls his next attack, he gets an additional die. All right, and so now we're going to go to the monsters. The ghoul attacks Gorbor, and so he has to defend. Gorbor has a, I believe you defend with spirit. I believe that's the defense is spirit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So... yeah, so you use spirit or to evade an attack, yes. So his spirit is low, so he gets 1. And he really, that's all looks like he's going to get. And he is going to take 1 point of damage and have to save or become stunned. So I'm going to have him spend an armor point because this guy's a little more dangerous, so that he's down to 3 armor. All right. You can spend an armor point to avoid damage, and his armor, his breastplate, his greaves, and his bracers give him 4 armor, so he's going to spend that not to be hit. All right, Gardriel, has to evade. She has dodge. So dodge is a pretty good ability, so that'll help. +1 defense test. So she gets 3 spirit dice for her spirit, 1 for her dodge. And I think that'll be good. She gets a success. Too bad those 2 6s weren't on here. And she evades the attack of the ghoul easily. So that brings us to Bindlebor Thremp. Bindlebor Thremp is going to... He doesn't want to zap because he might hit his friends. He can't sleep them because they're undead. Can't charm them either. He can give himself a barrier, but he's not quite that scared yet. So he's going to have to make a move into the room, go past Gorbor, and get here, I guess. I guess he could... Yeah, I guess he could go here and attack. I think there's a... I can't remember if there's a gang up in this game or not. Maybe there isn't. But I might allow it to happen anyway. Attack. Yeah, it's a rules-like game. I doubt it has it, but you know what? I'll give him an additional die because this guy, it has to split his attention. So Bindlebor has a one body, and I'm going to give him an additional one for his gang up bonus that I made up just now. And he's going to swing and attack. Ooh, he hits. So he hits this thing. It has... And so, yes, so one of these is gone, and the other one has been injured for 1 damage. Okay, now it's initiative again. I'm going to track them with the character cards, I think. All right, so Gorbor's a 5, and Gardriel is a... She's a 5. And they have to roll a d6 here in a minute. And then Bindlebor is pretty big, actually. He's a 7. And the monsters are a 5. So these 3 have to roll dice to see. So Bindlebor were 2. Gardriel a 3, and the ghoul a 2. So Gardriel, and then Thimbledore or the ghoul. The ghoul goes next. All right, so this is how I'm going to do it. So that puts us at, I'm going to adjust my cards. Bindlebor, Gardriel, the ghouls, and then Gorbor. All right. So, Bindlebor attacks. He attacks again with his staff. Gets a gang up bonus. And he's going to focus and attack. Well, no, he's just going to make 2 attacks. He's going to make 2 attacks. So he gets a body for 1. Ooh, he could sweep the leg. No, he's not going to sweep the leg. He's just going to smash this guy. Body for 1. And another for gang up. And I thought for some reason I rolled 3 dice last time he attacked, and I didn't dice bump it. But looking at it, looks like that's what it's going to do if we hit. And we miss. Okay? And then next up is Gardriel. So she attacks the one that she's fighting. She gets a body. And that's... And we'll say that's... No, it's not quite a multiple opponent. So we're just going to give her the 1 die. And she misses. And then the monsters attack. So one's attacking Gorbor. He has to defend against it. Gorbor has a Spirit of 1. And that's it. And he fails. And he decides that these things are dangerous, like I said. So he is going to spend another armor bonus not to take any damage. And then the Gardriel has to dodge, but she's pretty good at it, knock on wood. So she's got 3 spirit, 1 for dodge. You know what? I'm going to give her 1 for sharp senses. Why not? And she gets a success, and she is able to dodge the attack. So that brings us to Gorbor. Gorbor is going to strike at his. Now, Gorbor gets a 3 for body. He gets plus 1 melee damage, too, if he hits. which I don't know if I did last time or not. That's okay. Mistakes will be made. 3 body. And I give him additional die for the gang up bonus. I think that's all he needs. Oof. He did not get a 6. So he missed. All right, so guess that brings us to initiative. Gorbor rolls a 6. Gardriel rolls a 6. 7. Sharp senses give you +2 initiative. Probably. Remember that. Let's see what we got here. Sharp senses. Sharp senses. +2d test related to perceiving minute or hidden detail. So, you know what? Sure, why not? No, doesn't hear plus. So she is, yeah. But anyway, so it's basically going to go Gorbor, Gardriel, the ghouls, and then Bindlebor this time. Okay, so Gorbor is going to attack his. He gets 3 dice on this, as previously stated. And he cannot hit the broadside of a barn with his eyes open and standing 1 foot away. And then Gardriel is going to attack hers. Once again, she has a body of 1, so she's going to attack. And she misses. And then the ghouls are going to attack Gorbor. His spirit is 1. He fails, and he is... Guess he's going to spend another armor point. He's down to 1 armor point. Good thing he took the repair ability. And then Gardriel, is going to try to dodge. And she does not. Ouch. So she has leather armor. She could spend an armor point to avoid that damage. So she is going to do that. Because these are dangerous opponents. She doesn't want to be stunned. So she has leather armor and has 2 points. So we will get rid of her 2 points. 1 of her 2 points. So she spends 1, takes no damage. Okay. And then Bindlebor Thremp is going to whack with his staff. His body is 1. He could try to sweep the leg. How do you sweep the leg? Sweep the leg. Is that a spirit ability? No, it's his body ability. Knock an opponent to the ground. They must spend an action to get to their feet. So it's just like using an ability. Okay, well, anyway, he attacked and missed. That brings us to initiative. Thremp gets a 6. They get a 4. Holy moly. Okay, so she gets a 5, though. So that pops her over the top, and Bindlebor's last. So we're in the same order. Cool. So Gorbor is going to attack, and gosh darn it, he wants to hit. So he is going to do a dice bump. So he is rolling 3 dice for body. And he is getting a gang up bonus, and he is going to do a dice bump by spending a mana point to get an extra die. All right, so 3, 4 for gang up, 1 for bump. He needs to get a 6. Hooah, you got that hit and critical difficult success. So he's going to take an additional luck point. He's going to do an additional point of damage, but he's already doing 5, which takes this monster out. I forgot about his focus. I remember I said he focused. Yeah, and then he's going to move up here. Gardriel now gets a gang up bonus. She's attacking with 2 dice. And she hits and does 1 point of damage to that one. So it is now injured. Then it gets its attack. We'll see. Gorbor's quite an opponent, but this thing's been fighting. Gardriel, so I'll just go 1, 2, 3, Gardriel, 4, 5, 6, Gorbor. She's sticking with her, which is good because she dodges really well. So her spirit's 3, +1 for dodge, and I'm giving her +1 for sharp senses because I'm a nice GM. All right, so he gets a success. She gets a success, takes no damage. Now Bindlebor is going to move up, attack. It's 2 extra dice because of a gang up bonus. So he's got 1 die, gang up bonus, trying to get a 6. Doesn't get a 6, so he misses. All right, initiative. Ghouls are pretty much immune to fear, so... All right, Gorbor's at 7, Critter's at 6. She's way above both of them. Wow, okay. And Bindlebor is tied with the... and wins. So it's going to go all 3 adventurers, then the monster, the ghoul. So here we go. We're going to go with Gorbor. Gorbor gets 3 dice for body, 1 die for... no. 2 dice for gang up bonus, that's it. Needs a 6. Gets a 6, okay. So, takes out that final ghoul. They search the room thoroughly. Blood everywhere, smashed tables and stuff, but they don't find it. So they open the door, and they head down, and they look down this hallway to see what is going to greet them. And it is some doors and a room. See what the room content is. It is 6. It is a broken chair and thick layer of dust. They search the room. And that's not a side entrance. I'm going to make that an altar. And they don't find anything. They go into all those doors. They don't find anything. However, let's see if they detect that secret door when they're searching. I guess I can use... Bindlebor has investigation. So he's searching. He gets 3 for mine, +1 for investigation. So he's in the search as well. And he does not find a secret door. Each one of them is only going to get 1 mind. But Gardriel gets 2 dice extra because of hidden and minute details. So her mind is 1. Then she gets +2 dice for her sharp senses ability, even though that's under spirit. So maybe I should roll spirit. Sure, why not? She does not find a secret door. So that leaves poor Gorbor over there. And he's going to roll his spirit. Oh my gosh, almost worked. They don't find a secret door, so hopefully that tiny armor is not in there. And if it is, they'll have to keep searching. All right, so they go all the way back here, go through the rubble, start heading down that hall. And indicated a trap. I rolled for a trap. There is no trap. And so they continue down the hallway. Okay. Let's see if there's a trap. 3. Nope. No trap. Check the door. Go in. Find a table. Check out the... All right, so that will end up being... There's no monster there, though. Ooh. You know what? That's a good last room. That's a good last room. So they're going to open a door. She's gonna check that chest here for traps. So what did I do last time? 4 dice, I think. Yeah, because she's got Trap Master. She's got... she gets 1 more. Yeah, so she gets a 6. So she doesn't find any traps. Let's see if there is a trap. There is no trap, so she didn't find one. She goes to pick the lock. I give her one less dice to do that, and she is unable to pick the lock. Gorbor says, "Let me smash it." And so he walks up and hacks at it with his sword, opens it. I'm going to say the tiny armor's not in there, but they don't know that, so they smash it open, and they don't find anything in it. It's just a locked thing. They go into this bedroom, search that, don't find anything. Go in this bedroom, find anything. They come down to this door, and they listen. Now, I'm going to check and see if there is a monster in this room, just because it's the final room. There is not. So they open the double doors. They walk into the room. They open the double doors. They walk into the room. All right, so there is a dungeon. I'm going to roll to see. I'm going to roll on this table here for Max Payne's Deadly Dungeons as to what could be in there. This is the second level of the dungeon. So 6. So there is gold in there, no trap, so that's good. But they enter in, they see the armor flanking the chest, which is even more appropriate, really. And so she walks up to the chest, she searches it for traps. She doesn't find any. Let's see if there actually is a trap. Nope. So she has to unlock it. It's a hard lock. It's a hard lock, life for us. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm going to say that it's -1 die because it's a hard lock. However, she is going to use her luck because she's really good at luck. And she's going to use 3 of them to add 3 dice to her thing there, to her roll. She needs to get 1 6. So can she do it? Yes, barely. Barely, right there. That's a 6. Wow, all those dice, no 1 6. All right, so she unlocks the door. The chest, opens the chest. I already rolled. There's no trap. They find laying in the bottom of the chest the tiny armor. Oh, we must smash it. And then Bindlebor says, no. Let's close the chest. We won't be in complete contact with it, and we'll carry it back. You're really strong, right? We'll carry it back to him. We'll show it to him, and then he can decide what to do with it or how to have us destroy it. I like that idea. All right, so I'm going to roll a d6. If I roll a 1, 1 or a 2, something tries to stop them on their way out of the dungeon. Nothing. So they make it out. They make it all the way back to town with the chest containing the tiny armor. They take it to their employer. Yes, perfect. Okay, here's your, now smash it in front of me. So Gorbor starts smashing at it with his greatsword until it's nothing but just metal junk on the flagstones of the street outside of his tower. He pays them their money and they go on their way. Well, gamers, that was TLDRPG. Hopefully you did read this episode. A little bit of humor there. Tell me what you think in the comments about this system, what you thought about it. Neat little system. Yeah, sorry if, I kept rolling I rolled pretty well out of the gate, you know. It took me a little while to read a couple things, but I think I finally got it going. And so I can see how it would definitely roll pretty quickly at the table. I believe in an interview I saw with Billy Blue on YouTube, he said that I'm pretty sure this is a system that he designed for his friends, I think. And so they pretty much used it all. Yeah, they use this he's used it for a while now, and so it's really, really worked out. You don't have time to waste on game night, and TLD knows it. So TLD RPG. So thank you so much for watching. I'm really enjoying this series. I'm enjoying the comments I've been getting from you folks about the different systems and so forth. So I'm glad I can bring these to you. So let me know what you think about TLDRPG and this session and so forth and so on. Once again, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. And I really mean that, though. I know I hear YouTubers say it all the time, but it really does. I really like sharing my solo experiences with you. So thank you so much. Okay, so until next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Mage Hammer out.